knows that big things can come in really small packages? Well, today you're going to meet my buddy Dave. We're in Palm Desert, California, and he's got a 1959 Austin Healey Bug-Eye Sprite with a 478 Chrysler Hemi. What? What? Dave.
It's crazy.
It is crazy. Wait, you're giant.
Yes.
This car is super small.
Super tiny, yeah.
So you're how tall?
6'4", yeah.
6'4".
Yeah.
This is an 80-inch wheelbase car,
Yeah.
and it seems like a perfect natural fit for
Not really.
a guy your size.
Yeah, no, it's the car was basically kind of built around whether or not my brother and I and my dad could fit.
Well,
So-
yeah, what is the story on this? You guys have had this in your family for decades.
Yeah, so my parents' first date in 1966 was to go pick up the back half of the body. So that then started, my dad built a frame, originally installed the 392 Hemi, and then, it kind of evolved, and then he put a 426 Hemi in it from a 66 Satellite. And then about 20 years ago, we sold that original engine to a guy restoring a car, and then started over, built a new frame, new suspension, built a new engine, new transmission, but the body shell is still exactly the same. So the body shell is the stock width, stock length, nothing's been cut or modified, and it just basically all fits on top of the frame and the suspension and the engine and transmission.
Because when we fire this up, that's when they're going to believe
Right.
that you is a sleeper otherwise. Nobody
Yeah.
knows what you have in here.
It's pretty quiet because my dad always wanted it to be really quiet. He hates loud cars. And so it's reasonably quiet. And, it drives kind of like a normal car, and it has plenty of power.
Except it gets how much horsepower?
Well, it's 440 horsepower to the wheels, 2,600 pounds. But my dad is an engineer, a retired engineer, and he worked for years and years and years to get it to this point where it runs and drives as well as it does.
When the Austin Healey was first designed, it was meant to be an economy sports car.
Right.
Did you have to go through and stiffen this up?
So original Austin Healey is a unibody car, and it's so the frame is integral with the body, and so that's all gone. The original underpinnings are all gone. It's a frame,
True frame,
tube steel frame that was built, designed on a computer and built around the engine and transmission and the suspension.
If we took this body off,
Yeah.
it would be a Corvette with a Hemi, really, wouldn't it?
Yeah, so the rear suspension is narrowed Corvette, and then the front uprights are Corvette with 13-inch brakes in the front, so it's like a ZR1, C4 ZR1 brakes in the front. Front control arms were designed around the uprights from the Corvette, and then to fit around the engine. The geometry was optimized to keep the camber change the same as stock.
Right.
The toe change is the same as stock. Because it has all Corvette uprights, it has a wheel sensor, so for traction control, because it has traction control, which we added maybe 10 years ago.
That's no fun.
Well, you can turn it off.
Okay.
Yeah, so you can turn it, you can just leave it on real conservative for driving around so it doesn't get out of control, and then you just switch it off.
I see the logic behind it, but...
Yeah, because we have...
I guess you have to be smart about how you're doing it.
Right.
All right.
It's not a car you would want the 18-year-old version of me to drive.
You literally never have a memory without having this car in your family.
No, it's always been like a member of the family, and when you show people the car and they say, well, how long did it take you to build it? And it's like, 55 years. When this version of the car got up and running, it drove great, handled great, brakes were great, but we had cooling problems, right? And so my dad's an engineer, and so we outfitted the car with thermocouples and
What are thermocouples?
Well, so a thermocouple is a device that measures temperature. So radiators work by getting the heat out of the water.
Right.
So we put thermocouples all over to see how effective the radiator was. And so we drive up and down the freeway, and my dad's taking data, and then we'd come back and, so we ended up with this radiator, which then fixed the problem.
Look at this cute little smiley face. I love
is.
it.
That's what brings cheer to people's lives. Is the grill.
It does.
Yes, the
With-
bright color.
With all these boring cars
Yes.
everywhere.
Yep.
So the headlights, they had actually wanted them to be a little different.
Yeah,
than this.
supposedly they had originally wanted them to actually pivot out of the way and be flush with the body, but
Who's
for
gonna-
money concerns, they went to these fixed units, and
Right.
so it ended up with this, bug eye in the U.S. and frog eye in the U.K.
Right.
And turn signals are from other cars. The tail lights are from another car.
Right.
A license plate light is from another car, and so they tried to share components as much as possible to save
and that
money.
was to keep the costs down
Yeah.
on this car.
I think the engine, the original 4-cylinder engine, was from a different Austin.
Let's talk about your steering on
Yeah.
here.
So it has a Opel rack and pinion that's been narrowed,
Okay.
and then it adapts to the Corvette uprights, and then it just the steering column is basically a tube that goes up to the wheel.
Okay. You couldn't use a manual transmission because there wasn't
Right.
going to be enough room for the
Yeah, there's
clutch.
no room when the footbox is
Right.
for 3 pedals.
Right.
So it's from the very beginning. It's always had an automatic. This automatic is a GM 4L65, which bolts directly to the Chrysler Hemi. So there's a company that made a special bell housing to allow it to bolt directly to the Chrysler engine.
And the E, though, right?
Yeah, the
Electronically
E.
controlled. So you have
It's
you
a-
use a control box.
Yeah. So there's a control box behind the dash. So basically, between the firewall and the dash, that entire void is the fuel injection computer, the traction control computer,
Got it.
the controller for the fan, the controller for the transmission. It's all filled with electronics.
Does that standalone controller allow you to change like what RPM it shifts?
Yeah.
Are you able to program it
Yeah.
yourself?
Yeah.
Okay.
The fuel injection is adjustable with a laptop, and it works pretty well.
Okay, I want to see you get in this car.
Okay.
Mostly-
I'll prove to you that I fit.
I'm looking for a good laugh. Let's see how you do. I don't believe it.
So I always take my shoe off.
Oh my gosh.
I set it right there,
What?
and then one foot, and then the other.
Dude. And wait a second, your shoulders are so broad.
So
Oh,
I normally drive like this.
Your arm out?
Yeah. Or
Dang.
if it's cold, I go like this.
Right? I'm going to guess that I can leave my shoes
Yes.
on. How's
yes.
that?
You're perfect size.
Look at that. Oh, this is plenty big enough.
Do you reach the pedals? You have to sit on a book. Phone
No,
book.
I reached. When I look straight ahead, I'm sitting so low that headlight is right in alignment with where I'm sitting, and it goes right to the base of that palm tree. So that's what, 20 feet out in front of the car?
Yeah. Yeah.
Crazy.
Okay.
Your turn. Let's see how you fit.
Okay. That worked. So my feet almost fit. There we go. It's
You
tight.
can't put them side by side next to you.
Not if I want to get them out. You see, I think shoeless works better on this side too.
You might have to be shoeless, but
yeah.
that will smell funny. It's okay.
Actually, these are clean. So,
All right, tell me all the things I'm going to need to know to drive this.
well, the big thing is the traction control. So, this is a knob down here. I've either driven it wet,
10,
dry,
15, 20, yeah.
or off.
Got it.
So off, when you put your foot to the floor,
Sure,
it
and you
just lights up the tires. Yeah. There's a fire system here, so the
Okay.
Halon system here.
Nice, that's smart.
The shifter's right here, which is an unusual spot for it. So that's
What?
park,
What?
reverse, neutral, drive. But I just put it in drive and go. I never shift it.
Yeah.
It has power brakes, so the brakes work great.
Oh yeah, you've got those big 01 brakes too.
Yeah, and it's got a big as a booster that would fit in that space.
All right, I can't stand anymore. Just
Okay.
let's open this up and show me. This is crazy. It's
Yeah.
like, why a Hemi? That's a huge, heavy engine. Like,
Yeah.
it's enormous.
People have put small block Chevys in Bug-Eye Sprites with the stock, suspension and underbody. But I don't think, I've never seen or heard of another one with an engine this large in a car. The valve covers are so large because there's a lot of large rocker arms
Okay.
inside.
That means really wide.
It's very wide,
Like not
and
a
big.
natural choice for a
Right,
Sprite.
right. and I think that's one of the reasons that drove that for my dad is that from the very beginning of the Chrysler Hemi, you always know exactly what it is. That frame was designed around that engine, that transmission, and the suspension, right? And then being able to fit my legs down the side.
It looks extremely well thought out.
Yeah. Well, it was a lot of planning.
Crazy.
The whole this version of the car was all laid out in AutoCAD, which is
Okay.
2D software.
Yeah.
The geometry was all optimized on the computer for the camber change and toe change. And then my dad had stacks of drawings, and he would machine the parts, and then my brother or I would weld them. And so the only thing that we did not do was paint the body or do the machine work on the engine itself. So everything else that's machined, like the intake and everything that's welded, is all done in my parents' garage.
Well, let's talk about the heads on this because
Yeah.
they're really high performance.
These heads are built by a company called Stage 5 Engineering, and the machining is beautiful, and they bolt right on, and we had no issues with them, and they had excellent, great service, and they save, I think, 50 pounds a pair.
That's a lot.
Which is good on a car like this. We have all the fuel injectors are inside the plenum, and all the wiring is inside the plenum.
Yeah.
And so
And
it keeps the
Just gives you more space, keeps it.
it keeps it really low for hood clearance. It's got probably 3 or 4 inches of clearance from there to the hood.
Wow.
Ron Davis radiator that's a dual pass. So the inlet and the outlets are on the same side. This car previous to that radiator had a heating problem, and that fixed it. So this is a Lincoln Mark 8 fan. The opening in the hood and the grill is completely original. So it's a small opening.
Yeah, that's crazy too because it's not breathing a whole lot.
Right. My dad, from the very beginning, I don't want to cut any holes in
Right.
in the body. I don't want to alter the grill. I want it to look totally original.
Yeah. You didn't tell him I was going to drive it, did you?
I don't think he knows that. No.
Okay, well,
I mean, I wish that he saw the videos, right? So,
yeah,
I mean, you're careful.
I'm careful. I'm careful. Are you ready?
Yep.
Wow! What do you think?
Pretty awesome.
Show me what you got. Give me a break. Go. Oh my gosh, that's the best. No, you're letting it roll.
Yeah, I'm hard on the brakes.
Ready? Go. Go. That's how you do it. Do you have a rev limiter?
Yeah,
Good.
that was it.
This show is a ton of hours to produce, and we could use your support. Go to patreon.com/Nicole Johnson's Detour or check out our merchandise, NicoleJohnsonsDetour.com. Does your wife ever drive this?
She's been in it. Yeah.
Does she drive it?
Oh, no. Nobody besides myself or my brother has ever driven it.
Is this a dude? This is a dude's car. This is you and your brother and your dad, right?
Yeah. Nobody else has ever driven it.
Wow.
You're the first.
Wow. What kind of tires do you have on this?
They're Falcons. It's a new compound. We're pretty limited on the rear tire size.
Usually on Thursdays, I buy fine art at one of the galleries.
Yeah. Are you more of a sculpture kind of person?
Yes, I am more.
Metal
of a-
sculpture.
Metal chrome sculptures
Yeah.
are my thing.
Yeah.
Actually, specifically like that one.
Yeah,
That's
beautiful.
gorgeous.
When we did I guess you'd call it the total rebuild, when
Right.
we made the new frame, we built the new frame, the new engine, new transmission.
Yeah.
Then we changed it from blue to yellow.
Right. Well, the yellow's great because you do need to stand out.
Yeah.
It's so little.
It's a
It's so small.
Ferrari 355 yellow.
Yeah.
That weird lady in the scarf.
I know. Man, I actually really like the quietness of it
Yeah.
because it's muffled. It's not like it's trying to be so in your face.
Obnoxiously loud.
Yeah, but sounds really good when you want to get on it.
Yeah.
Sounds really
Yeah.
good. This cruising, this El Paseo is not doing it for me.
Yeah, I think we
I
just
think we need
get
to
some
open
speed
it up a little.
Yeah,
Let's go do that. Cool. So how are you feeling sitting there? Anxious? Good?
Right.
I love it.
I know you're a good driver, right? Right?
Well, I put that on my resume.
Yeah.
So of course it's on the interwebs. It's
Yeah.
gotta be true. Nice. Hands up.
Yeah.
You ready?
Yeah.
Go! It tracks straight. It totally tracks straight. 50 miles an hour. Look at, we're doing 50. Sounds so good when it downshifts. Wow. So stable.
Yeah.
It's quiet. You can totally like have a conversation.
Yeah.
No top on. No problem. It's actually for somebody who's 5'6", a very comfortable car.
Yeah.
And handles totally straight, nice. You know,
At some point, I'm going to redo the dash and finish the interior.
what do you think you want to do to it?
I'm not a fan of these gauges, and I want it to look more like a Austin Healey or a Jaguar.
I wonder how many of these are on the road. Like, if you go to England and stuff, do you think there's more common than here? I wonder.
I don't know. You see one very, very rarely on the road. I think they made about 50,000 of them.
Uh-huh.
But like when my dad got this body, right, it had already been like spun backwards into a tree, and it was all, it was a cheap car. I think he paid $80 for the body.
$80.
Yeah.
This is a fun road. It's a beautiful view. You know that this is the road from It's a Mad, 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 Mad World?
Yeah.
Except I think they were in a Plymouth.
They were in a big
Were they?
Imperial.
Imperial.
Yeah. Beautiful.
Yeah, it's so like moon landing. Yeah, this is when you're really grateful for the tight steering. It is like a go-kart, totally.
Yeah.
Feels just like a go-kart. Love it.
Small.
Yeah.
You can tell in the wrong hands it would be very dangerous. I mean,
Oh yeah, the
yeah.
potential. Which is funny because you think about all the new electric cars and how very powerful they are.
yeah.
And I'm sure there's a lot of unqualified people who are purchasing these, and
Yeah.
it makes me kind of nervous because they're significantly fast,
Yeah.
faster than regular Russian. I see it. Are you serious, Dave?
Yeah, I know. I'm nervous.
Oh my gosh!
I have chickens and kids and pigs and.
I was born with this gift of scaring people. We're good. I'm totally in control.
Okay.
Oh, look at this view. Oh my gosh. Bug-Eye Sprite with a Hemi up a windy canyon cliff road
Yep.
was probably the highlight of at least my hour. What do you guys think? You like the look? Let me know in the comments. I'll catch you guys next time. Bye, I need you right here.
Okay.
You keep stepping out of your spot.
Okay.
You're fired. You see that? We go
I
through
know.
talent that fast. And this would be actually 2 clubs. All right, what were we saying? I can't do that. Hold on a minute. The other thing that is cracking me up is you're giant. When you were born, the doctor handed you to your mother. Here's your baby.
Yep.
This is big baby.
10 pounds. Woodchuck to gray squirrel. Woodchuck to gray squirrel.
This is so bad. What do you think? How do you like the look now?